I personally might choose to boycott Burger King for just that reason. That's my personal choice. That's my autonomy. Nobody should be able to tell me about that. That's very different from a ban. And it is true that an awful lot of people feel revulsion at things that are connected with Russia or things that endorse the Russian government at the moment, and they should be free to undertake boycotts. I wouldn't object to that at all. And there is a difference between that and banning, and I worry about Frank and the academic clampdown on academic speech. That's a recurring theme in our universities. It's not just this. It says more about our universities than it does about Russia, the way things are at the moment.
And dare I say, as a journalist, I worry a lot more about...
But in terms of a boycott and a revulsion, I would not buy tickets for this. I wouldn't buy... If people want to say that and they feel that, that's absolutely fine.
No, I guess what I'm saying is there is a difference between Putin and Putin's regime and oligarchs, and then your everyday Russian citizen
there is a difference
who hasn't done anything.
There is, but, well, that isn't entirely true, because although Russia is not a free democracy, it does have sorts of elections. There's no reason to think Putin hasn't actually got majority support in the country, and it appears that there is, from the minimal opinion polls that have been done, that there's a very large amount of public support for the war, whether they've been done so on the basis of flawed information or whatever.
You saw that at that event today.
But there is a lot of support. So the idea that the Russian people are somehow totally innocent, I'm not saying they need to be punished, but I don't think we should be supplying them.
We should be careful about spreading collective guilt as well.
It's not a matter of collective guilt.
What about, for example, like in America, they've been throwing rocks at Russian restaurants, and I can give you loads of examples.
Yeah, violent activities shouldn't take place. But deciding not to go to a Russian restaurant, why not?
That's perfectly all right. But when you have intimidation,
or
the implication of intimidation in the air, and I think that there is a lot of that, I think we as a civilized side of the war are obliged to respect the fundamental notions and norms of democracy and of freedom of exchange and freedom of expression. And I am worried that this happens in wars. I saw the first time that we become caricatures of ourselves, and instead of maintaining the moral high ground by saying that we're open to discuss ideas, we're going to argue and debate, there's a sense in which there's a closing down of discussion. And I think, as Michel says, you do have to begin to watch your words. So, for example, like I think that there are two sides to the argument in terms of its historical origin of this war. I think both sides made a lot of bad mistakes. There's no two sides in the discussion now. You have to support Ukraine against Russia. But to say that and to argue that that the West, is in some shape or form have contributed to a chain of events which led to this war, if you say that, then people think you're Dracula sometimes.